Today we're chatting with one of the directors of The Simpsons, Jim Reardon. What is The Simpsons family like to work with?
I'd say that they're probably the most fun family on television to work with. But you can get away with damn near anything with them and people will believe it.
Well, Homer has sort of gotten progressively dumber as the series has gone on. How dumb will he be?
He's making a comeback a little bit. A couple of years ago, we were getting a little worried about him. We thought, gee, he was going to get to the point where we wouldn't have complete sentences anymore. But he's picked it up a little bit.
When will you Australians learn? In America, we stopped using corporal punishment, and things have never been better. The streets are safe. Old people strut confidently through the darkest alleys, and the weak and nerdy are admired for their computer programming abilities.
How much flack have you received over some of the issues you've touched on?
Well, I've been told that the Australia episode didn't go over with everybody here, but you should know that you're not alone. We've done a lot of things that have ruffled feathers in the States, too.
Ew.
Why, of all countries, Australia to make The Simpsons come and visit?
I can't speak for the writers. I mean, it was their decision. But it seems like such a faraway country and interesting, but people don't know as much about it as, say, Europe, you know. So the writers felt they could get away with more, you know, inaccuracies, you know.
Mom, you said I could have one souvenir, right? Well, I want a didgeridoo.
That seems very noisy and expensive for a souvenir. Why did you get this nice cap? It's clever, just like you.
So how long does it take to put one episode of The Simpsons completely together?
Well, from the time we get the script to when we put it on the air, about 6 months. But we have 10 or 12 shows in production at any one time.
Well, how do you direct animation? Obviously, you're not calling cut to actors. How do you direct it?
You mean take it from the top part? I can show you here. You want to see some of the script stuff? This is the 200th episode, actually. The animation department, we get the script, cast list in it, who's playing what part, and we have to turn this into the first step is to break it down into individual scenes with a storyboard. And the storyboard artist, with the help of the directors, will break it down much like a movie, you know. And then it's broken down into individual scenes. And the layout, we have a crew of layout artists that do the key drawings for each scene. This is an example of a scene with Mr. Burns giving a lecture to some school children. And they would do the scenes that most reflect the acting needed, the poses needed in the scene.
This is a whole sequence, the Raiders of the Lost Ark sequence from The Simpsons. You directed this. How did you...
Well, the script called for Bart to be sneaking into Homer's bedroom and stealing the coin jar. And we wanted to, you know, and they wrote a few jokes about a semblance to Raiders of the Lost Ark, and my job was to make it as much like the movie as possible in terms of the staging and the pacing. So, you know, there was a shot in the original movie of him stepping around these stones that are going to release booby traps. So Homer, here he has to step around Homer's dirty underwear. He thinks about taking the coin jar, and then he just grabs it, you know, and then nothing happens.
Why, you little...
And then he has to avoid Maggie's deadly darts that are shooting at him.
What the... No!
And get out the garage door before the big slab comes down. The only difference was that in Raiders of the Lost Ark, you didn't have the man's belly protruding through the door.
Another advantage, I suppose, with working with The Simpsons is that you can keep on making the show and they'll never grow up. They'll never get old like real actors.
No, well, the actors will, but the voices may get a little creaky with age. But no, in theory, it could keep going basically forever. So.